and this is what we have today. We have systemic racism. It's hard for us to have equality when the nation was birthed in racism. It's in the DNA. It's in the fabric. It's interwoven in the fabric of this country, to where we always hollering about what the Constitution says: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we have these unalienable rights to where we all the same, and we all made under we're God's creation. All that they wasn't talking about African Americans. They weren't talking about people of color. They were not talking about individuals, because, oh, my friend, y'all ain't talk to me. Can I tell you this? They weren't talking about us. It was interwoven in this society. And because of the systemic racism, because of that, we have systemic poverty. There's a term called redlining, to where the banks, they practice this, they're discriminatory towards who they loan and who they loan to, depending on your zip code, and they refuse to give you mortgage. And here I heard over in Texas that they say that they got all these things that's going on, which is phenomenal. I believe that there's a move going on. And in Texas, they said that they're no longer going to have a room in the house. They're no longer going to call it a master bedroom. Master bedroom, I never thought about it. That has some undertone to slavery. So I'm not gonna call it master bedroom anymore. But what good is you taking away master bedroom when you won't give me a loan? What good is the Washington Redskins changing their name and they still don't have no black owners? What good? Oh, come on, y'all gonna talk to me. What good is you taking down a statue and you're not changing the statues? What good? You can take down the statue, you can do all that. That's good, what it represents and what it's symbolic of. But what good if you're not changing any legislation? There's something that's going on. And I'm not even going to park and talk about mass incarceration. I'm not going to talk about the prison pipeline. I'm not going to talk about how so many of individuals of color get locked in prison and locked in and get this stigma on them for all these years. And even when they get out, they're still discriminated against to the new Jim Crow, what they call it. There's some things going on, and people say this is not the gospel. People say that this is the gospel, my friend. Can I tell you that the gospel is liberating? The gospel is impacting. The gospel, anywhere you see injustice, you ought to cry out. Anytime you see things going on that shouldn't be going on, you ought to speak up to it. Come on, my friend. Can I tell you, in our society, there's a lack of educational opportunities. In our society, we don't have representation. And Rebecca's asking God. He's saying, God, what in the world is going on? And I'm going to ask you a question I started my message with. Do you have a burden? Or are you just getting along to get along? Are you just happy because we had a black president? And come on, people of God, you think this is irrelevant? If you think this is irrelevant and you don't think this is important, then you part of the problem, boo-boo. You part of the problem. Can I tell you, because people look at all these things that's going on, and it causes them to question God. God is good. He is good. God has all power. There is evil in the world. So because God is good, because God is all powerful, because there's evil in the world, God must have a purpose. Good God. Because he is good, because he's all powerful, because he is all knowing, he's omnipotent, he's omnibenevolent. All he is good. All he is love. He knows everything. So if he allows pain, if he allows trauma, if he allows rape and murder and violence, and if he allows it, come on here, there must be a purpose for it. Can I tell you that God may not be the one that initiates it, but God allows it. And even when the enemy does it, God will take what the enemy does and he'll work it together for his good. Come on, let me bring it home, because y'all not want to think with no atheists and all that. Can I tell you, if God allows your pain, if God allows your hiccups, if God allows your second, if God allows your setback, if God lets your letdown happen, can I tell you that God is saying, I'm working a purpose for, come on, it's for my purpose, it's for my good, it's for my growth, it's for my development.